Welcome to Greg and Mortis's Little World of Horror. It's Sunday, July 27th, and you know what time it is. It's my weekly slash from the Slash movie review, and as promised previously this week that I'd picked up a DVD from one of my friends on Facebook and a fellow LOTC listener, Jason Erkson. It is Brain Damage. Mwah! Just watched this film for the first time in several years, and I'm excited to talk to you fans about this film. This was as far as the DVD, has been remastered from Synopsis Films, and Synopsis does a great job with DVDs and Blu-rays. So I was very excited to get into it. So let's give you a picture of Brain Damage once again. This movie was from 1987 and directed by Frank Henenlotter. Now this is the sophomore movie of Frank Henenlotter as far as his filmography goes. His first one being The Basket Case, and if you've not seen Basket Case, man, you have got to watch it. It's such fun. And that's what I was wanting to mention a little bit about before I get into a lot of this movie. Is Frank Henenlotter himself. He kind of puts you in the mind his films. Let me go over his filmography. He had Basket Case, he had Brain Damage, he had Frankenhooker starring Patty Mullen, which is another great movie, and then he has some other titles under it, about 5 or 6 in his filmography, but definitely Basket Case, Brain Damage, and Frankenhooker, those without a doubt are his mainstay films, and such greatness. If you remember the movies of the 80s from like Peter Jackson's movie, Bad Stuff, and different movies, or Bad Taste, and then you got movies like, trying to think off my head, Brain Dead, and different movies like that. That's what you get with this one. It's so much fun. Really excited. Let's go ahead and go a little bit into the transfer of the movie. I thought Synopsis Films done a really good job. It's definitely a grade up above VHS, which it should be on DVD. I would definitely like to see a Blu-ray release of this film. I want that because I think it would be really deserving of it. But as far as the movie itself, the transfer looks great. It sounds great. It's a very colorful movie. To give you a plot synopsis of Brain Damage, basically you're following the life of Brian, played by Rick Herbst, and all things seem to be kind of normal with Brian, but one fatal movement, and that's from this creature called Almer. Now they pronounce it Elmer, and you think Elmer, E-L-M-E-R, but it's not. It's Almer, A-L-Y. I think it's A-L-Y or A-Y-L-M-E-R-S, and it's this little creature. He's kind of I wish I had something to show you. He's about this long, kind of snake formed, and a little brain head like thing, and basically he's like a slug. And what they do is this creature will attach to the back of your neck, and he's got this stem that goes into your brain cell, and he injects you with this fluid, and he kind of takes over. He makes you, it's like hallucinate and stuff. It's like a drug that he kind of injects into your brain, but what happens is he kind of takes over your body to the point that, kind of like drug addicts, man, once you start it, you can't stop it because of the feelings it gives you and the way it makes you feel, and that's what Almer does, is he ends up making Brian, just freaking colors and sights and stuff, but what it does for him is he kind of blanks out. He doesn't know what happens, and there ends up being murders taking place, and then he'll wake up and realize he's got blood on himself, or someone's missing. And lo and behold to him, you know what happened? It's Almer taking over. So that's what you get with this film. It's kind of that's a weird plot synopsis, but anyways, that's what you get. The film is very colorful. I mean, it's got a lot of blues, a lot of greens, reds, yellows going on. It's a trippy film, much like an LSD trip, which I've never took before, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. But kind of one of those trippy movies where you're watching it and you're like, what the hell is going on? But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Hadn't seen it in so many years, but getting to re-watch it again, had so much fun with it, and I could definitely re-watch it again. I think one of these days, I think I'll just do a whole rundown of Basket Case, this one, and Frankenhooker, man, and just watch them all three back to back, and even throw Bad Taste and Brain Dead in as a bonus. But really impressed with this movie. It's really well done. It's got some really good effects in it as far as visually. It's a grotesque, gory filming scenes. There's a scene where an ear is kind of took off and a lot of blood, and I'm talking gallons of blood coming out of the head. Scenes like that, or scenes where Almer is attached to someone's head and he's sticking out and he's in his brain and he's like, a lot of screaming, that kind of thing. So I was really impressed with the puppeteering and the makeup effects. I thought they done a really good job. Just a really fun watch. If you like cheesy 80 movies, like if you've ever seen Basket Case, of course, or It's Alive, or films much like that, like Brain Dead and different films, this is what you get with this one. Definitely out of the three Frankenhenenlotter films, of course there again, Basket Case, Brain Damage, or Frankenhooker, I would probably lean towards Frankenhooker being my favorite, and then Brain Damage and Basket Case, but they're all three really great films to be in a filmography. That's just another scene. I thought the acting in it was pretty well done. Did you like how I caught that? Did you notice that? I went. But I thought the acting was pretty well done in it. A little bit of nudity, not much, but overall it's just a really good film. It's definitely one of those New York gritty films that was filmed in New York. There's some scenes where you get to see the streets of New York and some of the backdrop, the Empire State Building and different stuff. So I've always liked those. Kind of like Maniac, the original, and then you look at the New York Ripper and stuff like those movies. I really love to see those gritty, dirty, going to back alley movies, man. They just always freaking take me to a spot that I really like. So you definitely get that in this one. But once again, a lot of blood, a lot of guts and gore in it, a lot of comedy, a lot of cheese. The character himself of Almer is awesome. He's a well-spoken, narrative individual. He is this little creature, but he has a little mouth and little eyes, and he talks, and he's really educated, and he's a smooth talker. Like, come on, Brian, you gotta have me. There's a scene where Brian is trying to wing himself off of Almer, and Almer tells him, look, you can try to wing yourself. And Brian says, yeah, but you don't understand. You got to have brains. You got to eat brains. And if I don't let you attach to me, you're going to starve. And he's like, well, let's just play a game, and we'll see who breaks first. Either you're going to be begging me to attach back to your neck and feed your brain, or I'm going to break and I'm going to allow you to, starve me to death. And there's a scene where that takes place, and it's hilarious because Brian starts going through DTs and stuff, and he's like sick. And I mean, this happens within hours. And Almer's just having fun. He's in a sink singing and, having a good time. And of course, he ends up breaking. But it's a really good film once again. And Brian there, you can see the main character if you can get a good view of him. Can't really get it real clear, unfortunately. But anyways, Brian, the main character, I thought it was really well done. It's also got not much, but as far as the DVD itself, there's the cover of it, much like the, let me turn around this way. There's the cover, much like the cover of the DVD box. And then it also had this little pamphlet inside, just with the title sequence on the back as well. But it did have just a very brief, and this is by Scooter McCrae. It's called Henenlotter's Damaged Brain. And it's kind of just a 1-2 page little kind of synopsis of Frank Henenlotter. And I thought it was very entertaining as far as talking about, brain damage, the second finger in the collective eye of cinema from director Frank Henenlotter, who has made a career out of guiding the engines of discomfort into the dark places most rational filmgoers would rather not explore. Although Frank has so far made only 5 features, 3 of them bona fide cult classics, which was Basket Case, Brain Damage, Frankenhooker, while both Basket Case 2 and 3 are entertaining, neglected gems that are wanting to be discovered. But anyways, I mean, these movies right here, just excellent, man, if you want to get into cheese. I absolutely love Brain Damage. I was really excited to revisit it. So for me to ask the fans to purchase, definitely, man, it's a double thumbs up. It's a must own in your collection. I once again want to see a Blu-ray of this movie. Well done, well directed if you like those 80s cheesy movies. I'm definitely, once again, I love Synopsis films, so I trust them when they release DVDs and Blu-rays, so I'll definitely be looking for more. But if you've not seen it, this is the special edition of Brain Damage. You got to get your hands on it. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. So with that, this is my quick Synopsis movie review this week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to me, please do that. Definitely like the video if you liked it. Comment below and share it. And stay tuned. As always, you can follow me at Land of the Creeps podcast, which is landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. Check out all our podcasts. We're up to 78 or 79 now and still trucking along. I love podcasting. This is just another little small avenue for me to take place in. So definitely share this video. And with that, this is Greg Mortis with my little world of horror / From the Stash movie review. Until next week, I'm signing out. Peace!